Yeah. What's happened is that we've taken the cult out of culture.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But
I was like,
if you could just give your like definition of that,
you want
because
me to give it?
I
Oh
think
yeah,
I understand what you're saying with that,
people
but
people are really
for
disconnected
everybody
from.
else,
I'm not saying too like Christianity is like the truth and like the God you should be praying to, but I feel like people don't pray to a God anymore. To any kind of God, it's purely physical. It's we've taken like the deep religion, the people's deep connection with a higher power. They've kind of separated themselves from it to where what we trust and what we put our energy into is these physical kind of demons rather than a higher power. And that hurts the culture and it hurts our environment and it makes people like have less empathy, have less connection with each other through that deep
right?
religion, and it
Yeah,
takes away their ability to come together as a community under uh, this. Because even with the modern church, it's a community based around donations and worldly acts and stuff, and it's less of people actually having a deep. They say it a lot, and they use these words that are very plain view, and they're like, what are those words? Buzzwords of to describe their spirituality, and it seems more like a presentation to other people and the community rather than the community actually having a deep connection through this being or through this idea of a God. And
yeah,
there's these questions. He brings it up. There's these questions. It's like, who am I? Where do I go when I die? Who should I be praying to? These are all really important questions, and they are something that it's not like the question has gone away. But when people ask it, they don't ask it in that way, and they don't think of it as there's something above them that they need to connect to answer that question. It's things within this world that help them figure that out. And it
yeah,
leads towards, because I don't want to say that I have the complete truth on what is real and what is not real, but there is definitely beings above us and below us uh,
right.
that work on different planes of existence, and whether that be represented through archetypes and people's personalities or
Mm,
their needs for like their needs for destruction or their needs for whatever, like what categories people fall into, because it is said that people do have a natural need for destruction, and destruction can work in any kind of sense in your life in different contexts, and so uh, making that completely, like you talk to a shrink, a psychiatrist, rather than a spiritual teacher, someone who will help you get to the root of a problem in a different way,
right.
rather than a chemical way or a way that trans.
A way that's just solving the symptom,
Well, yeah,
possibly.
yeah. Um, Getting to the symptom and not the root. You know what I mean? You're cutting off you're trimming all the branches off, but you're not killing the roots of the problem. Like like mutilating your body and taking chemicals as a young person to change your body and change things about that. Uh it's taking
Yeah.
these things. It's like it's these human. It's like not
Damn.
really like that, but
Mm,
it is a way out, and people see it as a way out of who they are because they have these problems with themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't know where their life is headed, what their purpose is, and instead of going towards that direction, it goes into a purely this has to be a physical transformation, and and that's just one example.
yeah.
But cars and houses and this idea, these cultures are all outside the reaches of spiritual teachings and spiritual practices, and so, like you said, it's the symptoms, just working on the symptoms, and it's these things that are like tiny explosions on the whole thing. But once you connect to that higher power, I feel like it's the big explosion that actually, and this isn't 100% for everybody, but I think it does apply to a large group of people and maybe a lot of people can connect to that. It's like
Yeah.
you have to look beyond everything that you think you know, especially with atheism. To say that you're okay, we come from monkeys, so you think your little stupid fucking monkey brain can understand the entirety of the universe like through math and science. I don't know about that. Like I don't know if, and I don't know if you can write off hundreds and hundreds of years of different teachings and the way that it's affected things. It's like if if there wasn't really a true Messiah or something, do you think that there would be huge? There wouldn't. There like I don't know. If we were completely secular, there was no religion, we would be so much technologically advanced. We'd be all happy and living in a utopia, you know, IGY. But it couldn't actually be like that. And it's like, do you think there wouldn't be wars and political like and reformations to this thing if it wasn't real and people didn't actually have it a change in their lives and have it become a large part of their life? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it can be fake just based on the way the collective consciousness felt about it and the collective unconscious of these archetypes and the way people act. Um, just becoming more informed on like, you know, Christianity isn't about Bible thumping. I don't think. I think it's the starting line to something a lot greater. Like I said, it's the starting line for Western esotericism is the Old Testament and the Jewish Kabbalah. That's when you start, and that's when you start getting into deeper things, and that's when you can find, you know, the questions that need to be asked, the whys. But yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Uh, and to be in the context of what this guy was talking about is to start a cult, you have to get people to agree on the three levels of God, which is the angels, the whatever the Godhead is at the top, and usually you can get people to agree on the first one. I'll send the video to you. I don't want to get too much into it, just paraphrasing, but we can
Yeah.
talk about it more next time. Do a little bit more research. But yeah,
Nice.
that kind of sums it up. Is you know,
Yeah.
it was just one example, really. I feel like I have a lot more to say about it. I'll write it down and I'll think more about it throughout the week. But
Nice.
that was kind of that was the starting
Yeah.
line to my. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I have a lot of anger and a lot of problems with myself and with the world and everything. And I feel like getting in touch with the divine is a huge. It could play a huge part in that, in helping solve that, rather than going to talk to a shrink and getting prescribed Lexapro, you know,
Yeah.
and screwing up my brain chemistry, or
Yeah.
or hitting the bottle, or fucking whatever, or buying
Yeah.
things like working on my car. You know, it's like I don't. Uh, that's different, but
Yeah. That describes it really well. Yeah.
yeah, like, and we've talked about this before. Like when I first started, when I started hitting the caffeine more than the THC, like I realized, like I started talking about that. It's you only have a certain amount of energy after watching that Galahad Eridanus video. You only have a certain amount of energy, and you have to give it to something. You have to put it into something. If you're really taking action to change, you have to put that energy somewhere, and
Yeah.
that'll be the direction you move towards.
hmm
But
And
anyways, I've gone on too long.
and that'll be the direction that everything moves towards, I would think.
Yeah,
Because in the end, you know, this will have just been, this will go away for us as individuals. And, what we've done and the pathways and patterns that we've built up will ripple out into the rest of the world
yeah,
and affect
and
things
throughout time.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So,
think about how we got to the point we are in now. Like the we've people progressively throughout time have been separating themselves from the divine, and this is the result. And we're going to keep moving away and away from it as a collective, into where it's now, you know, it's there's going to be nothing left, and it's seen as kind of Bible thumping or occultic or just Zionist or whatever. Maybe not Zionist, but I don't know. I was trying to go there with. I was thinking about all the people in Israel, like Orthodox
yeah.
Jews and stuff. It's very like Judaism is now very political.
Eh,
to say at least it is very political.
yeah, even people who are very into whatever religion they have, a lot of times, at least from the
It's
outside, it looks to me like it's not really about having a connection. It's about like following these certain rules and doing the right thing.
exactly.
And then a lot of them end up like sometimes I just think, and I'm sure every religion does this, but for example, like the Amish or like certain sects of
Yeah,
Judaism where they have like certain ways. Same thing with the Mormons. Like they all have little ways. Like it's not about having a connection or doing the right thing. It's just about following the rules and writing down the definitions so that you can get into heaven. And they have all these
yeah.
little ways you can find loopholes and kind of cheat God, and God will go, "Oh, okay, haha, you did it. You played the
Yeah.
game right. It's just about, playing the game and following the right steps."
Mhm.
And
And
maybe that's
just
it. But personally, I think there's more to it than that. I think you're a part of it, and you're really in it. It's alive. Uh,
yeah,
it's not a
I would
script you can follow.
I would definitely say like yeah, a lot of people I would say young, especially young people are like raised in it. They see it as do this or you get in trouble. It's like tradition, or it's either rules or traditions that you don't understand but you still have to do.
Hmm.
Instead of, and it even says in the Bible you're supposed to have a deep relationship with God. It's not about like worldly acts. It's about having an actual like deep relationship with the divine, and that's just been forgotten. And if it's, I don't know, it's like Kabbalah is like there's Christian and there's Jewish mysticism, and that really emphasizes the importance of why you do these things and like why you sing these songs a certain way is like because they're actually trying to transcend and have the closest connection they could with the divine. Like trying, I'm not saying like ritual, like in the Aleister Crowley context, but also
Yeah,
in like
you could
with
definitely take it to a lower level too.
yeah, with like with Eastern
Because,
Orthodox, just the amount of respect they have for their worship and the
mm,
sanctity of the
right,
church. It's not some place you come to have coffee and chat. It's some place you come to have a profound experience about something that you truly believe in and truly believe that is a higher power than yourself. It
yeah,
makes you question: is God really seen as higher than you by a lot of people? Do they think that God is really above them, and do they have that kind of respect for it anymore? I don't know. That's a little off
yeah,
topic, the respect for it, but um, it's just the why. The why do we go to church?
yeah,
Is it to hear about the potluck? Is it to hear about the charity drive or whatever to catch up? Like I don't know. Is or like why are we why are we alive? Why are we doing all these things outside of that?
yeah.
Um, and it comes down
And
to
it,
like you have a deep connection with the physical. You know, what I mean that trust and that energy has been put into bank accounts and um, houses.
oftentimes it seems like there's not even a that much of a, and maybe because there's not a deep connection with the higher power to even the people around in the church. Like, um, my parents were just saying they uh went to church recently with my grandparents,
Hmm.
um, and the pastor or whatever, they were doing communion, and there weren't a lot of people at church because it was like a weekday, um, or something. But I
Right.
guess the communion was going on, and he was like, "Those who are close with God may come up to communion. Those who are not." And he like looked at my family and was like, "You can remain seated." It's like, all right,
Dang.
you're gonna tell people that you have figured it all out, and you can tell
Yeah.
who's close with God, and not even really try to connect with them. or
Yeah, exactly.
discuss what you think, but just
I just haven't seen
it's
you at
just a
my
way to be
parish.
like, yeah, hey, I'm better than you. I guess
Yeah,
you're not
haven't seen
in
you
my
guys
thing
in a
all the
while.
time, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's politics. It's politics. Like with
Yeah,
Judaism,
right.
it's now
It is just
politics
turned into
within church.
politics.
With
Or with the
Catholicism, all this
Pope
shit
and
about the
everything
Pope.
too.
Yeah,
Right, yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, I can't believe I didn't make that. But the Catholic Church, it's like you got to think like what are the conversations that go on after a Pope dies? It's definitely not mournful.
Right.
And it's definitely all these cardinals are fucking flapping their wings trying to get up to the seat because they know the power that it holds, political power. People listen to
Yeah.
you, news anchors and all that fucking bullshit. So it's just a deep
Yeah.
connection with. We need to lose.
I
I need
think
to
most
work
of
on
the
it.
people who are meant for power don't actually want it.
That's
That's kind of
that's
not
yeah.
not
That's what I've always
connected
heard.
that much, but
No,
or
it
it is,
definitely
but
is
yeah. Yeah.
because if you want to, yeah. Well, even back in the day, in the times like the people that the rabbis that were in power, they abused it, and that's just the world. That's just people's
Yeah.
putting their faith and their energy into the physical world is like yeah, and their
Mhm.
natural need to destroy, to want to I don't
Yeah.
know, I guess
I don't
destroy.
I don't mean to go on for too long here, but the something that does connect with that I've been thinking about a lot recently, just in like my personal life at work and
Mm,
stuff, and then seeing what's gone on in yeah, religion and especially politics and how the point things have gotten to. Um, they've gotten to that point because there's people in power who have misused it, but there's people in power who have misused it. It's a lot of it is our fault. A lot of it is the public who is comfortable and complacent enough that they don't put those people in check.
exactly.
And
They give them the power, the
it's
energy.
gotten at, yeah, that's you've given them the power and it's gotten out of hand. Um, and I think that if everyone just starts trying to do the right thing on an individual level and get closer to
Yeah,
some sort of truth there, it will take an effect. It's that little swarm of insects. Why do they move in a certain direction? I don't really know, but once they start moving in a certain direction, the whole swarm will
yeah.
move.
I think something to put in the
It's hard to
analogy, just their
yeah
nature. It's
yeah
just their nature to move that way.
yeah.
Oh,
It's hard to be the first you know the first bug to
right.
move, but
Yeah,
got to
just
move
go against the
somewhere.
grain.